Hey everyone, I am Nathaniel Rumpeljans. As you know now, I am your boss man. And today we're going to talk about a topic that I just can't ignore. If you guys remember last episode, which was now 2 weeks ago, we kind of missed an episode in there, that I said this was going to be an extra special episode and you're going to want to pay attention. I said this because I knew about some things that I couldn't quite talk about at the time, and I was assuming that I'd be able to talk about it last week, but I couldn't. And now I can, today. So, this is kind of your extra special episode. But it's not going to go quite as I planned. Needless to say, I'm not happy right now. There's a lot of reasons that I'm not happy right now. But this all revolves around Majora's Mask 3D. So today, the topic is Nintendo! How could you screw up Majora's Mask 3D? Okay. So, I'm not really talking about Majora's Mask 3D, the game itself. Everything we've seen of the game so far, including all the footage that has come out since the last Nintendo Direct, has been fantastic. I think it looks amazing. I like the addition of fishing and the 2 fishing holes, even though I've only seen one of them so far. I like it. I like the changes to the Song of Double Time. I like the changes to the save system. I like the changes to Clock Town. I like everything they're doing. It looks great. It's everything that I had gripes with in Majora's Mask fixed. And I already really liked Majora's Mask. So that's huge. That's a big plus for me. But then Nintendo had to come in with some stuff I already knew was coming, but I didn't know it was going to be happening like this. In the last 2 weeks, we've had several things announced in regards to Majora's Mask. So 2 weeks ago was the Majora's Mask Limited Edition that included Skull Kid. I didn't know that was coming, so this isn't me saying, oh, I knew about that. I didn't know that was happening. And then Nintendo also announced a limited edition console. You can also get a limited edition pin, a Majora's Mask pin, by pre-ordering codename Steam at GameStop. So, all of this is all fine and dandy. Now, I knew about the limited edition console, and that's why I was really excited. I knew it was coming. I wasn't sure if it was if it was going to be a limited edition new Nintendo 3DS or a limited edition new Nintendo 3DS XL. That I wasn't sure of, but my Nintendo rep let me know that, hey, this is going to happen, keep it under wraps, you can't say anything until after it's announced. So it's announced, and I'm really excited about it. The problem is, and this is where I run into an issue with Nintendo, is I do not like how they have handled the launch of these 2 limited edition items. As in the limited edition Skull Kid and the limited edition 3DS, the limited edition new Nintendo 3DS XL. Why don't I like it? On the positive side, I like limited editions. I'm a collector when I can afford to be, and unfortunately I can't afford to be a collector very often, even though I work at Zelda Informer and been doing this for 16 years. You'd be surprised, I don't even own all the Zelda games right now. I keep having to sell games to put gas in my car, pick up my kids, pay daycare, pay rent. As luck would have it, I'm only recently starting to come into grips financially to be able to not always have to sell everything I own to get the next thing. So I don't have a problem with limited editions. I think it's cool. I think they add collector's value to the item. I mean, I understand the logic of, more people want the item than is available, so Nintendo should meet demand by having enough of these available in terms of the limited edition consoles and the limited edition special bundle that everyone can get it that wants it. I mean, it's kind of, hey Nintendo, we're trying to give you money, but you're not making enough items for us to give you that money. I don't have a problem with it. I like things like that are limited because it adds collector's value. It's nice for me knowing that I'm going to own this Skull Kid figure that only X amount of people in the world have. It's kind of like the collector's edition for Hyrule Historia. It was a numbered collector's edition, and there was only X amount of those collector's edition of it made. Now, you can still get the normal Hyrule Historia, but the collector's edition had some extra stuff in it, and it was a hardcover and all that great stuff. And only so many of those exist, and that's great. It's just like the Prima Guide bundle that comes in the treasure chest, I believe you can get off Amazon. That's limited edition. There's only X amount. Now, you can get those guides individually, but that collection together in a bundle in that chest is a numbered collection, and there's only so many of them, and I like that. I think it adds collector's value, as it were. There's one thing about being passionate about Zelda games, another thing about being passionate about having a collection that, maybe not all Zelda fans have because they either can't afford it or there weren't enough of them made. It's cool. So I like that I'm going to have a little figure that, unfortunately not all of you guys are going to have. I would like to say that I'm also going to have the limited edition new Nintendo 3DS XL, but because at Zelda Informer we were too busy covering the news from the Nintendo Direct, plus there was a media event directly following the event, I was unable to pre-order the new Nintendo 3DS XL for Majora's Mask. But that doesn't bother me. If I really, really want one, I will come up with the money and buy it from a scalper. And I know people hate scalpers, and I think people who buy consoles or limited stuff to go turn around and sell it right away, I don't like that. I'm not into that. I don't care if someone buys something and they hold on to it for a few years and then they sell it. That's fine, because at least they got to either enjoy the product by using it, or get to say, hey, look, I have this cool thing. It's boxed, it's untouched, and it's in my collection. And there's not very few people in the world that can say, hey, look, I have an unopened, sealed new Nintendo 3DS XL Majora's Mask Edition just sitting here, like, in my collection. I walk by it every day and it makes me smile. Like, that's really cool. But that's not what scalpers do, at least not at launch. They buy the limited edition things so they can turn around and make $100, $200, $300 profit on it right away. And I don't like that. But the thing is, if I really, really, really want one of these, I can get one. It's going to cost me, but I can get one. So I don't have a problem with limited editions as is. What I have a problem with, and this is my whole beef for this conversation, is the way that Nintendo handled the release of the limited editions. I don't exactly recall off the top of my head right now how Skull Kid limited edition was announced. I'm trying to remember. It was something really minor. It just kind of popped up, and we reported on it, and it was gone within 30 minutes. I can't remember exactly how it was revealed, but the point is that this kind of fits into my beef with the console limited edition as well. Both were announced on the same day that they were available for pre-order. Now, normally this doesn't bother me. If something's announced and it's coming out in a month, why shouldn't we be able to pre-order it right away? The reason I have an issue with the limited edition is some people have jobs. Some people are at school. Some people are sleeping because it could be a different time. Maybe they work a night job, so they sleep during the day. There's a lot of reasons that are unfair to even collectors, unless those collectors happen to be up 24 hours a day, or get lucky enough to be up when an announcement is made. I don't like pre-orders for limited edition items on the day that those limited edition items are announced, unless it's not really a limited edition. Like when the A Link Between Worlds bundle and the Wind Waker bundle were announced, they were called special editions or limited editions, but they weren't really limited. There was only going to be X amount of each made, but they continued to make them after launch, and it really wasn't that hard to get them. You could actually go into the store the day they came out in many, many different stores and pick one up, even if you didn't have one pre-ordered. So it wasn't really limited. It was more like a limited time run of those consoles. So they ran them for 6 months or so before they finally phased out and stopped making them. These are literally limited editions, kind of like some of the Amiibo, and they are one-time runs. There's only so many of them, and once they're gone, they're gone. And from what I understand, based on my conversations with Nintendo, they're not going to be coming back. This is it. So whatever gets announced and available for pre-order between now and launch, that's it. You're not going to see them anymore. And I'm okay with the limited edition nature of that and not seeing anymore. I'm not okay with not giving people enough time to go to the stores and line up or prepare to make an online order at a specified time. That's what I have an issue with. Limited editions should have some forewarning before you pre-order them. So I'm fine with it being announced at the Nintendo Direct, but saying something like it will be available to pre-order on Friday at 10 a.m. in the morning Pacific time or whatever, online or at opening of your local game store. That would have been great because people can plan ahead for that. So say you're on the Pacific Coast, and let's say that you're looking for an in-store order for the console or the Skull Kid figure at GameStop, which really wasn't an in-store order. It was a store-to-site order where you go into the store and they have a special stock set aside for pre-orders in the store that ship to your house. It's still all an online order, but it's a separate stock from the people who are going to be clicking furiously online and trying to buy up all the limited editions they can. So it would give those people a chance. And then what you could do is you could set aside certain stock for different time zones. That way the Pacific people aren't screwed over by the fact that the East Coast is going to have a chance to buy those in-store items 2 hours before the Pacific Coast people can. But then, on the flip side, those Pacific Coast people could also plan to be like, okay, I think all the store-to-site pre-orders are going to be gone, so I know I'm going to have to pre-order online. So I'm going to plan to be there at the time they said that those online pre-orders will go live at the website, furiously refreshing, so I can get one. Now, that sounds crazy, because there's going to be thousands and thousands of people trying to get them, but at least those thousands and thousands of people would all have an equal, fair chance to get them. And that's kind of where I stand with my issue of how Nintendo has handled this. And this isn't just how they've handled Majora's Mask, but I'm going to stick to Majora's Mask for the moment. I don't like that Nintendo didn't give any forewarning and a future date for the pre-orders. I don't mind limited editions. That's a totally separate debate on whether limited editions are good or not. I mind not having an equal and fair shot along with every other fan out there to be able to get it. Now, if I waited in line at GameStop and by the time I got in after opening, they were all sold out, okay, they were all sold out. I should have showed up earlier so I could have been further up in line. If I'm online and I'm refreshing that website and all the orders are gone by the time I finally go through the process, then maybe I screwed something up. Maybe I didn't have my credit card information right. Maybe I screwed something up so they were all gone. The point is that at least I would feel like, hey, you know what? I had a fair shot, just like everybody else did, to get it. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys didn't get that fair shot, and that sucks. That really sucks. So my advice to Nintendo is limited editions are okay, but don't make those limited editions available the moment that you announce them if they're truly limited editions. Give some forewarning so people have a chance to hear about the news and get in line at stores and get ready online to make the order. Now, if people end up having to work when the pre-orders go live, that's fine. But, a lot of people, if they're given a few days' notice, they can adjust their schedules. Be like, hey, I'm going to go into work late today, or I'm going to take an early lunch. It's really not that hard to do this. So it really baffles me that Nintendo just said, hey, look, limited editions are truly limited. They're available right now, and they're gone. I mean, come on. We've seen the Maymays the past week, and they're gone. Now, what makes this a bigger issue for me, and this is just my issue with Nintendo right now, because I think Nintendo as a company has been doing great. They've been making great content. They've had a great last 365 days. In that time span, we've had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros., Pokemon, Hyrule Warriors, Captain Toad. Just trying to think. There's so many games. I can't even remember them all. But the point is, we've had a lot of great games and a lot of great marketing out of Nintendo. But Majora's Mask limited editions aside, Amiibo limited editions have also been setting me off. And not having a AC adapter included, or even a USB adapter included with the new Nintendo 3DS XL, just irks me a little bit, even though I know that's how it is in Europe and that's how it is in Japan, and it doesn't irk me enough to not buy one, which I guess is the general point. How much can you annoy your consumers before they just don't buy your product? And not including the USB adapter for the new Nintendo 3DS XL doesn't upset me enough to not want to buy the system, because I still think it's a worthwhile upgrade. It just feels like they're making a little blunder after little blunder, and for some fans over time, that's going to pile up, and they might just say, you know what, I'm done dealing with Nintendo. And I hope I'm never one of those fans. I love what Nintendo does. Remember before how I said I don't have any problem with limited editions? I don't have a problem with there being a limited run of certain Amiibo. I think it's actually clever, and obviously they weren't going to keep adding new Amiibo and keep the old Amiibo on the shelves all the time, because before you know it, by the end of 2017, you have 762 Pokemon on the shelf, 50 different Mario statues, 20 different Zelda, bunch for Metroid. I mean, it would be crazy. Stores would not realistically be able to keep that stuff in stock. But I don't have an issue with that limited edition Amiibos. I have an issue with Nintendo not telling us which Amiibo are going to be limited edition, meaning that we as fans have to guess. I bought the Princess Zelda Amiibo, on the off chance that it might be limited. Now, I don't think Princess Zelda is a big character, so I don't think Princess Zelda is going to be a limited amiibo, but the fact is, I didn't know. The Toad amiibo coming out, I don't know if that's going to be limited. Is it? I mean, it's a Mario character, it's in a lot of Mario games, it also has its own game, but does that mean it's, going to be limited? Like Little Mac? Or, I mean, that's my problem, is that Nintendo didn't tell us which amiibo are going to be limited, so we're kind of left to guess, is this amiibo going to be limited? Is this amiibo going to be limited? And that's tough. That's tough when you're a collector, because you want to know what's going to be limited, so you know what you should be investing in now, and what you can wait to invest in later. Like, I currently do not own a Link amiibo, because I know that the Link amiibo is at least going to be around through this year, because Zelda U is coming out. And heck, they might even release a new style Link amiibo when Zelda U comes out, but either way, the Smash Bros. One is still going to be out for a while. So, that's kind of my beef with Nintendo right now. They are screwing up everything you can possibly screw up with limited editions. As a Zelda fan, that sucks. As a Majora's Mask fan, it sucks even more. And, I sympathize with all of you that feel like you kind of got jobbed, that you didn't have a fair shot to actually order these items. And I almost feel bad that I am lucky enough to be able to get one of those items. And if I get enough money, I might be lucky enough to have both of those items because I overpaid from a scalper. I feel bad because not all of you can afford to do that in terms of overpaying, and not all of you have the time or the availability to be around 24/7 to understand the news cycle and be able to hop into a store ASAP to get something, or be at that website at the exact right time to pre-order an item. I'm just kind of bummed out. I mean, I don't know. How Nintendo, how do you bum a Majora's Mask fan out who's legitimately excited about your Majora's Mask 3D game itself? This is how you bum me out, man. And I'm one of the lucky few that might be able to get both items, and I'm still frustrated. Because not only what I had to do to be able to get those items, but because of what the lack of opportunities all the Zelda fans out there had to get them. If you're going to do limited, you do it on a set schedule that you give people a warning, a future warning for. If it's not going to be limited, then yeah, announce it, let it be pre-ordered right away. That's it. That's all I got. So thanks for joining this week's episode of The Boss Man. Sorry if I got a little rambly, a little passionate there. This is something I feel really, really, really strongly about. Also, please pre-order Codename Steam. I don't care if you pre-order it from GameStop to get the Majora's Mask pin. This game needs to be given a chance. It kind of combines two different types of games into one. Let me tell you, Codename Steam is going to be one of the most underrated and underappreciated 3DS games of the year, and potentially could be Game of the Year for the Nintendo 3DS. And I'm putting my money down on that right now, even though I haven't played it. Because I'm stupid like that. Alright, so thanks for joining me this week. You can check me out on Twitter at Nate Jantz. You could also follow Zelda Informer on Twitter at Zelda Informer. You could follow Zelda Informer on Facebook at facebook.com/Zelda Informer. You can also obviously bookmark our website, subscribe in the video up here in the right corner for you guys. You'll be a little Zelda Informer icon you can click on and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I will see you next week. Wow, I really don't know how to end this. Hey, we got that top 10 video out. Top 10 bosses. You can check that out over here. Or over here somewhere. Nintendo, man. I love you guys, but why you gotta... Right here. I feel it, guys. I feel it. I'm out.